Hello, I'm Jo Good and welcome to The Gold Show. We have a very special edition for you today. The legend, the national treasure that is Davina McCall has just launched a brand new television show, and I am really flattered to say she came in to talk to us, and you know something? Davina does not disappoint. Davina, I'm just so chuffed to be sitting here with you. We have met before. We need to come clean, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
And we're both quite emotional people, aren't we?
But that was an emotional topic, to be fair.
And
we went deep.
It went deep.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I love this, because this is lighter, but incredibly poignant. Because, well, let's first of all tell everybody what it is. It's my mum, your dad, your latest project, which is... People are saying it's like a sequel to Love Island. It's a follow-up to Love Island. Is it? Do you mind that?
Yeah, I mean, that's my fault, really, because I did a podcast with Stephen Bartlett, and I was talking about hustling and how I'm 55, I've been in telly for over 30 years, and I still hustle for work. Never stand still. Always keep moving forward. Don't expect everything to come to you. If you want something, go get it. So I emailed somebody at ITV and I said, why don't you do a midlife Love Island? And I said those words, and since then, like literally everybody's called it the midlife Love Island, and that's my fault, because it's nothing like Love Island. And so it's kind of doing it a disservice, because it's not telling people what it really is. I think what it is that, I mean, there's something about sitting next to you, because every time I'm with you, I feel like I'm going to start crying, but oh, God, I really
God, don't, because I will. Come on, we can get through this. Oh. Go on.
It's a second chance at life. It's a chance to. It's a chance for people who know what they want, who know what they need, who sometimes just want to hold someone's hand and share their life with someone else. And it's really wholesome, and you'll be clutching your chest like, oh, it's amazing.
When you describe it, for someone like myself, so I associate you, I mean, you were at the beginning of reality for me, you know, Big Brother, it was revolutionary. We'd never seen anything like it. Youth-driven, very much youth-driven. What you've just explained to me is people who are, and I hate saying this, like, not in the autumn of their life, but in the
second spring.
Thank you. Second spring, that's far more attractive. People in the second spring. How do you find them?
It was quite easy to find women. And don't forget, the casting process was that the children had to nominate the parents, so over 18s. And there's a reason for that, because the children take part in the show.
Oh my
So
God.
I had a lot of people saying, but what about all us people with no children? And I do feel that there would be space at some point maybe to do a spin-off or a special where friends nominate their mates who haven't had children, or something, you know, we'd do something like that, because it does feel a bit sad that if you haven't had kids, you don't get to be on the show.
Yeah.
But the kids nominate their parents. And women that we had on the show, most of the women had been alone for a long time. I'm not saying that they hadn't had friends with Bens or like some kind of setup, but in terms of a long-term relationship, their children had been their priority. But interestingly, men were much harder to cast because they don't stay single for very long. They get snapped up by somebody almost immediately.
Yes.
Or for many men, it's very difficult to leave a relationship. They find it much harder. And sometimes they'll wait to meet somebody that they're interested in before they have the courage to leave. So it was just a different kind of animal, casting the men from the women. But it's brilliantly cast. I mean, when I walked into the retreat and I saw everybody's faces, and I thought, oh my goodness, like, these are my people.
So these are single parents with kids, and the kids are part of the whole scenario.
Yeah, so the kids drop the parents off at the retreat. So fantastic role reversal. You've got the kids going, don't embarrass me. You know, like, just don't do that thing you always do. And don't be so prickly, I've got goosebumps talking about it. Or they'll say something like, that kind of thing, the role reversal. Parents go in, parents think that their kids then drive off and do a bit of social media during the show, and that's that. But then the parents come and see me at the bunker, and I greet all the children and I say, welcome. And then I say, you're going to play a bigger part in this show than you initially thought. Follow me. And I show them the surveillance room where they watch everything their parents are doing. So sometimes that is incredibly difficult. We had somebody that had lost their partner of many, 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 many years, 38 years, I think. And their daughter was there watching them saying, I don't think I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. Talking about her father.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, talking actually about her mother. And the dad.
Oh, I see.
Was there.
Oh gosh.
But then there was a turn of events, and without giving too much away, he opened up and became a bit braver. It's so good. It's something that I love watching Love Island with my kids, because I understand my kids better. Because I go, but why has he done that? And why is she going over there? And what do you mean? Why do they put so much makeup on? Or what is that? Like, is this a new fashion? I love sitting there because I understand them a lot better. And they're looking at me going, yes, of course he's going to, it's really funny. We laugh a lot. But this is going to be one where the kids are going, why is she doing that? Yeah. Why would they do that? Yeah. Oh my God, you do that, or...
But it's also, they'll hear things that their only parent is going to reveal that they wouldn't have known, because parents naturally protect their children from telling them things. What's the end game? Is the end game that they pair off?
I mean, the end game is they fall in love. And there's no prize on this. There's no prize money. It's, again, that's very different to Love Island. Love Island is like a huge, shiny kind of game show where you win a prize and sometimes a career. Yeah. But the prize in this is love.
Yeah. How many couples are in there?
There are 8 people to start. But people come and go. It's not cruel. Nobody gets evicted or chucked out. But sometimes people might decide that they're not going to find love, like that it's not quite working out for them. They don't feel that there's a connection with anybody. And they might say, look, I want to go. And then when that happens, we introduce someone else. Or we introduce like various new people throughout their time there. And it really worked.
Can I ask the role you play? Do you talk to the people whilst they're in there?
I'm mostly kids at the bunker.
Right, so you guide them.
So I'll say to the parents, right, the dating experts have spoken and they want you two to go off on a date. But what they don't know is that it's their kids that have decided that.
It's brilliant.
It is really funny.
It's brilliant. And it's so interesting because going back to Big Brother, going back to Long Lost Families, and going back to when we met, you are a very emotional person. You you always put yourself in the situation of the job that you're in. You must have to step back in a way from it, don't you, and let it play out?
What's quite nice about it is that I try and do that a little bit and let the kids decide. But I will ask them questions. I go, but don't you think your mum might be feeling like this? Or, look, if it was me, I'd feel like this. And I'm not trying to change how they're feeling, but I'm offering like a parent's age opinion on things. And in fact, the kids, I thought they might be joking around more. They really, really had their parents' best interests at heart. They were all invested in their parents finding someone. They really want their parents to be happy. And in some cases, they can't move on with their lives while they feel that their parents don't have someone in theirs. So there was real investment in their parents meeting someone. There was a guy in the retreat who was having a crisis of confidence. This guy was gorgeous. Ex-Olympic basketball player, 6'10", so nice, handsome, kind, funny, and he just had such a crisis of confidence. I was like, you've got to let me in that. Let me in the retreat. I need to get in there. So they were like, Davina's coming in. So they let me see him for 10 minutes.
That phrase
and
is
I was sitting, you were chosen. Like, we thought you were just perfect for this. You've got to understand that you're great and all of that. So I think it helped a bit, yeah.
It definitely would. You said that this was a project you definitely wanted to do. You must be offered so many projects and you have to choose wisely. And just to go away from my mother, your dad, for a moment, I have a friend who's a GP, and she said when you made your documentary on the menopause, literally everything shifted, everything. They had women coming in demanding that they were told about this, that and other, just to be given any research on HRT, the menopause, of which there had been so little. When you chose, or did you choose, was it offered to you? Did you go out to find that documentary? Did you have any idea how it would literally change the lives of women?
Not at all. I mean, not at all. I think the first thing that happened to me was, obviously I went through it and I had my own story, which has been well documented, of being told I wasn't perimenopausal, then thinking I was going mad. I sort of lost 3 years of my life. I was angry, I was difficult, I was frightened. And through my job, I ended up meeting a doctor who was a menopause specialist. And I was like, oh my God, tell me everything. I need to know everything. And I said, will you do a live with me for my fitness platform? And she was like, yeah, of course I will. And then we did a menopause day for the fitness platform. And then I started branching out, and then I started following people. And then I thought, I know nothing about this thing that is absolutely 100% going to happen to every single woman in this country. I know nothing. And all of the stuff that I thought I knew about hormone replacement therapy, which I thought was the spawn of the devil, was untrue. And I thought, everybody thinks that this is, everybody has the wrong impression of it. And
People were scared.
How are we supposed to make an informed decision if we don't have the information?
Yeah.
So I thought I need to get the information out to people, and I thought, well, I have got a platform, I can definitely do that. So I was doing it on the fitness platform, I was doing a bit on socials, and this woman called Kate Muir, who's an amazing journalist, she contacted me and she said, I'm making a documentary with Channel 4 and we would love to have someone present it. And I said, yes, it's a big yes. When I was filming it, I thought, oh my God, I'm talking about something that immediately ages me.
I was going to put that to you because your industry is based, or was. You see, you are a trailblazer because it was based on youth. And to come out and say, actually, I'm going through the change, which was what it was known, it was, or people would whisper it. Go,
Pain.
But to just brazenly leap out, Davina McCall, and go, right, this is what's happening to me and I need to get my head around it. Was your agent screaming at you, going, no, this is not what you're meant to be doing? Or did you just think, I'm going to plough on through?
No, I mean, I think we did talk about it. I said, can I just talk it through with you? Because I am worried. Part of me is worried, but the other part knows that I need to do it. And they know me really well now, right? And they're like, if you need to do it, you need to do it. And let's make this a really positive thing for women.
Yeah.
So I was like, fucking great, let's do that. So I then thought, what I really want to do while I'm doing this is get the information out there, but let's try and reframe the way that society looks at women at midlife and going forwards. Because, age, I saw something brilliant the other day. They said, instead of talking about age, why don't we just talk about levels? So if you're level 26, you're okay. But if you're level 55, which is where I'm at, you're doing really well, because level 55 in a computer game or something is like you're a boss, right? You're bossing it. So I was like, oh, I'm level 55. I love that. So I was thinking, I want to reframe the way that society looks at midlife, men and women. Let's not forget, lots of men, if you get made redundant in your 50s in the business world, trying to find another job is very, very hard. But we've all got all this amazing knowledge. We have seen crisis after crisis. We've navigated all of those. We have mentored people. We know our stuff. We are hardworking. If we've got kids, they've grown up, and we're really beginning to enjoy work again. Because let's be honest, when you have little kids, it robs you of your ambition or any desire
And energy.
to work and energy. So we're an asset. So I thought, right, second spring, here we come. Let's reframe the whole goddamn thing.
I mean, we are so lucky. You talk about men, but I think women are so lucky. We're not linear. We have these chapters. And at the risk of flattering you, you allowed us to celebrate the next chapter without having to... No, but truly, Davina, I'm not...
Love that.
I'm leaning forward here because there's a GP, she comes on my radio show, takes calls, and she said it on air. She said, the moment you came out with that documentary, everything shifted. Women just arrived saying, I would like to find out a bit more about this, because it was male scientists, it's not men bashing, male scientists who'd done all the research. So there wasn't, and also we were told we were meant to die at 65, so there wasn't any point to the menopause.
Well, we were second-class citizens. We didn't have a vote. So while all of this research was going on into medicine and everything, it was very male-orientated, because we were just stay-at-home wives who just had to put up with periods and bleeding and menopause, and then after the menopause we died.
Yeah.
And so that is what happened.
Yeah.
But now we're living much longer, fuller lives. There is, we are making great gains in terms of equality and women's rights and the pay gap, but women's health seems to be slightly lagging behind, and this is where we need men on board, really. We need them to be allies to kind of help chivvy along all the research and look, I mean, periods, I think, is the last
taboo.
Why
it is?
Why are women having really
Pay for
heavy
sanitary
periods?
Towels. We've gone right off on it, but
why has nobody done research into women's periods? Like, some women sail through with very light periods, but what makes a woman bleed so much and so heavily, so hard, with so much pain? It's going to affect you for the rest of your...
And aren't you proud of women? I mean, you just think you
my
seldom
God.
ever see...
Don't even
sorry,
get me
forgive
started.
me. But, when you flood, sorry, everybody, it's devastating, but you very seldom ever see accidents like that. We're living in a city, millions of people, you never see some poor girl because you take care of yourself, and women have done that for years and paid hugely expensive prices for tampons. We've gone off message, Davina, but I'm absolutely...
Moon Cup. I know that's...
Moon Cup.
But the cup, there are other brands available.
Yes, there are.
But the cups, I wish I had periods so I could try a cup.
Do you know,
all my friends bang on about how brilliant they are.
It's so interesting. I look at tampon commercials and I just think, gosh, that was the day. Isn't it lovely when you no longer have to worry about it? The other thing is, I can't take my eyes off your legs. Fitness, look at them. Fitness is almost... Well, it's your lifestyle. When I was talking to the girls, it is your lifeline. And I was talking to one of the girls before we came on air, before we came in here, and she went, I've got all her tapes. And I thought, gosh, tapes. They were tapes, first of all. They were VHS,
Absolutely
weren't they?
Hilarious.
They were brilliant. And you didn't care what you looked like. But you'd be in like a squat, you'd be on all fours doing forward. Again, you sort of broke the mould. But now it's your way of life. Can I ask, in a busy life like yours, how do you fit it in? Like today, what have you done before you got here?
Yeah, absolutely nothing. So I am an active person, so I've been very busy today. I've been changing, I've been shooting, So in between working out, I try and lead an active life. So that means I got off at a wrong tube station this morning, but for me it was a right thing because it meant a 23-minute brisk walk to the job. I'd already done 10,000 steps by 11 o'clock this morning. Win. That's a win for me. Escalators. Walk up the escalator. I'm like, go, go, go. So there's that. But I do 4, if I'm lucky, but maybe 3 half-hour workouts a week, and that is it. But like yesterday, I did a charity bike ride. I did 50K.
Of course you did.
I do... So I'm active, but this is what I like. It makes me feel good.
So I love the fact you take the tube. Can we talk about, so as I said, you were there at the beginning of reality television, possibly the most famous reality show ever. When you look at television, has your attitude to television changed somewhat, do you think?
I think telly's changed a lot. The time for the huge, big entertainment programmes in studios and stuff, they're far and few between now, really, because there's a lot more drama. I'd say it's 50-50 drama. And, do you remember when drama sort of went away for a bit? And so there's always ebbs and flows in television, and it's quite interesting. But it feels like it's pretty similar in a way. I think, you know, obviously on some reality TV shows, there's a bit more sexy stuff. I mean, I remember we always just used to be like about the nuance of sex in Big Brother. And now it's completely normal to think about. But I'm not kind of like, oh, that shouldn't be happening. It's just what happens, isn't it, in life? Life changes and advances. And but I love being in telly. There's nothing quite as exciting.
It's where you should be. It's your
really
safe place.
It is. I
can tell
enjoy
it
it
is.
so much.
And also, I mean, even here, you know every eventuality. You know what could happen, what might happen, and you'll get in and rescue it before it does. And that was always your role. Do you think you do that in My Mum, Your Dad?
I mean, I was always ready. What I like about this show as well is it's very fluid, because it's people in a space, and they'll go, actually, do you know what? They've had an amazingly busy day today. We were going to go and talk to the kids about maybe doing an activity this evening, but because it's been so full on, we're not going to do that tonight. But could you actually come in at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we're going to do something tomorrow morning? I love that kind of thing. I'm not brilliant at being spontaneous, because I'm, at the risk of oversharing, my life was quite mad when I was a kid, so I'm a real planner. Makes me feel safe. I like, you know, I'm going here for Christmas, I'm going here for Easter, I know what I'm doing, everybody knows their place. It's like so when on a job, when they go, can you come here that time, and can you go there? I'm like, oh,
it's good at timetable.
It feels so, but it feels, it's like rip up the schedule.
Yeah.
I'm just yours from whatever time you need me till whatever time you need me. It's so exciting.
Are you still ambitious? Is there a lot that you'd like to do?
I see ambitious as being, when you go to a job, you want to do a really good job. You want to leave people thinking, we'd love to work with her again. I want to leave people with a good impression and think that, you know, with a good memory, so that when they think of another job, they think, oh, let's get Davina back. She'd be good fun. So I guess I'm ambitious like that. And I'm ambitious because if I think of something that would be good, I will try and make that happen. That is definitely ambition to me. And I'm not ready to stop yet.
No, well, you
and
won't.
It hasn't stopped me. I wondered if TV might have retired me by 50. When I was 40, 45, I thought, well, I'll probably not be working anymore with us. Well, that's not going very well. So I'm enjoying myself.
And
so
can I also ask you,
yeah,
because Sheilux, we love fashion, we love beauty.
Yes.
And I mean, you look amazing. And you...
I did wear this specifically for you guys today.
But you just look fantastic. Is it still important to you? Is fashion and beauty still important?
Do you know what's funny? I think it's got much more important to me as I've got older. So
Same.
When I was younger, well, especially when I had little children, I did nothing for myself. I never wore makeup. I never took care of myself. I didn't even wear nice lingerie. I just was like, kids. Yeah, it was like I was having a crisis in terms of fashion and beauty. There was nothing there. I used to kind of almost pride myself in being low maintenance. But as I've got older, and there is this thing when you get to perimenopause where you think, I remember feeling myself overnight, oh my God, I feel like I'm invisible. I feel like no one can see me anymore. Oh my God, what's happened? And I just hated that feeling. And I've got louder and louder in my sense of dress since then. You know, my skirts have got shorter and shorter. If somebody tells me I shouldn't wear something, I'm going to wear it twice. If somebody says,
love you.
I want to wear a hat, I want to wear, I want everyone to look at me, because it's like, no. You don't get to do that. I'm wearing shorts, you know, on a weekday in London. I used to be like...
Did you come on the tube in those?
I came on the tube in these boots.
Wouldn't you love to be in that carriage, everybody? They must have all been going, is that or isn't it?
You know what was really funny? Last autumn, I was wearing white little frilly socks and loafers with a heel and a chain across here, with a little kind of A-line dress, sort of, you know, mid-thigh, with a white collar and a bow and a red coat and a red lip and huge glasses. I was sat on the train like that. And I could see people like, she's wearing socks with loafers and she looks about 55,
No, she
50.
doesn't.
And I was like, yeah, fill your boots. Have a look at that.
I'm so proud of you because truly,
I love it.
Because there's something in the paper today that is picking on, I won't name her, a girl who is slightly younger than you, but not a lot younger, with a side slit. And this tabloid has just gone for her, going, you don't do that at a certain age. And yeah, exactly. Enjoy the second spring.
Do you know, I follow so many accounts of women up to the age of 90, you know, of like snappy dresses, and they give me so much hope. I love these women for being on Instagram and influencers. And I mean, Iris Apfel, like...
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. There's another one called Gresha.
She's amazing.
Gresha.
There's a friend of mine called Lou in Luland, and she's an absolute mentalist in terms of outfit. Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
I'll have to check her out. And also, I think this generation, your kids' generation, don't see a generation gap anymore.
No.
You know, they don't see it. So, you know, how lucky are we? Can I just ask finally, for everybody listening, one bit of advice to women of all generations? Because here you are, massively successful, fantastic legs and shorts, and a wonderful career. You know, what got you there? What gave you the confidence? And what would you say to people who don't have that bit?
I mean, it's not a one piece of advice, but it is to say that I was a very, very insecure person who had to take drugs to fill a hole in me that I couldn't fill myself. And over the years and years and years of trying to learn, and I always say I'm a work in progress, I've filled the holes and I've got happier and I've learned a bit more. And then, you know, my body doesn't look like it did when I was 20, but I care less. And now I'm wearing shorts on the train and it's funny and I laugh at myself and I enjoy life. But I like enjoy every moment. And if you are struggling, just keep walking forwards, keep working on yourself, try and find solutions for problems that you might be feeling inside. And know that it will get better. Because if you'd have said that to 16-year-old me that I would feel like this today, I'd be like, there's no way, that's too big a leap. I can't do that. But I didn't think like that. I didn't think, how am I going to feel when I was 55? I was so self-obsessed when I was 16. I was just like, me. But it will be okay. Like things can get better, but just keep moving. That's what I would say. Keep going forwards. Don't go backwards. Don't look backwards. Don't dwell on the past.
Leave the past
forwards.
Behind. Keep pressing forward. I think, I mean, you are so loved. You are much loved by the nation, and you will keep going forward. And I think that's great advice. And my final question is, the guy you told to kick ass, right? Is he still single?
Can't tell you that. You'll have to watch.
Damn.
I mean, this is I've got to keep you coming back.
Well, I like the sound of him anyway. Davina,
yeah?
Thank you. Thank you so much. How fantastic was that? Don't you just love the shorts? I know I'm going to go and purchase a pair myself for a much shorter woman. We love Davina. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll be back soon with another Gold Show episode. So just watch this space. Meanwhile, have fun and bye. Bye.